Let's see how I can fix this. But yeah, so Dark Elves versus Beastmen, Mrlemarquis versus Thanqul. Thanqul. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I apologize to the players here. But here we go. It's fine. Had this Discord and stream running. Okay, cool. Glad to hear, Otranto. Thank you for the heads up. Let me know if sound needs to be fixed, adjusted, anything like that, as usual. And I also, before I forget, should update these faction banners to the Dark Elves and the Beastmen, respectively. So, where you at, Beastmen? Aha, Mino. So, I said so too many times there. Alright, so for the Dark Elves, we got Witch Elves, 2 of them by the looks of it. Sisters of Slaughter. Got 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, one of them being the ROR that causes poison. Gonna have 2 Dread Spears, make that 3. Some Cold One Knights back here, and then 2 Dark Riders, just the regular variant. For the heavy hitting power here, we've got the Chill of Sontar, Regiment of Renown Hydra. And then we're going to have Morathi up in the air on top of her Pegasus. She will be bringing Soul Stealer, Doom and Darkness, Heartrender in the Dark Sword, Enchanting Beauty, and Greater Arcane Conduit with Life Leeching. Now, for the Beastman player, taking a look over here, we got a generic old Cygor here, ready to throw some boulders into those Dark Elves. For the infantry, it does look like we're going to be seeing a lot of Ungor herd here. Very cheap, have stock, and also they have the expendable trait, so it doesn't affect the Beastman leadership when they rout, so very useful units in that sense. So 3 of them on this flank. There's going to be Minotaurs with shields hidden in the forest here, and they will be supporting Morgor the Shadowgave, who will have his summons and Call to Violence. We also have a Brave Shaman of Shadows on foot with Penumbral Pendulum, nothing else. A couple of throwing axe Centaurs up front there for the skirmishing, and then 2 more throwing back axes over here hidden in the forest with some Chaos Warhounds trying to look to do some damage. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, I think the Dark Elves have a very strong build, and I do worry about the Beastmen here. But if the Beastmen can catch those Scourge Runner Chariots in a nice engagement with the Minotaurs, that should really help pull the battle in their favor. But I just think it's going to be hard to pull off with how fast they are. But the Cygor getting some incredible kills already, taking these guys down to nearly half health. The Sisters of Slaughter are a very threatening infantry unit after all. Morathi is down on the ground. If the Beastmen micro well, they could have pinned her down there and probably killed her while she was separated from the rest. But it does seem like the gamble didn't bite the Dark Elf player in the butt there, as it may have. Over here, though, Cygor is now getting attacked by Morathi. We're also seeing the Scourge Runner Chariots firing in there, too. A Chill of Sontar breath going through these Ungor herd. I think a bit premature, but still doing some nice damage. Throwing axes are coming up behind Morathi, and she's going to start running away as she sees them on the approach. Minotaurs with great weapons have come out of their hiding spot. And we're actually going to see a really nice Penumbral Pendulum going down on top of these Dread Spears, but the Cold One Knights are now diving into the Ungor herd, and we'll see if they can take him out or not. You know, over here, this Ungor herd going to get charged without being braced, and they're going to take a lot of damage from the Dark Riders on the charge, but now the Dark Riders are also starting to take some damage. We'll see how that goes in a bit, but Cygor very, very low on health. However, point-blank shot into these Dread Spears doing quite nice for him. Alright, Chill of Sontar's over here. However, Minotaurs with great weapons are now getting on top of it, as well as Morgor the Shadowgave. He will... This is going to be interesting. I mean, if they can kill the Chill of Sontar right now, the Beastmen are going to be in an incredibly strong position. And they have throwing axes supporting them. They have Minotaurs with shields in there. They have more Minotaurs diving into combat. This time into all of these Sisters of Slaughter. The Chaos Summon is still around. And this Chill of Sontar is in a lot of trouble. Look at all of the firepower coming into it. All those throwing axes just doing a lot of work. And the Minotaur is holding strong in combat against it. Is that going to be another Penumbral Pendulum? It certainly is. That one not going to do too much, it seems. But maybe I missed it. But yeah, now the Chill of Sontar is just looking really weak. It's routing. And unless the Dark Elves can get that back online, they're going to be struggling a bit, I think. I mean, granted, they still have the 2 Scourge Runner Chariots. We still have some ammunition. And obviously they still have Mrlemarquis, and it looks like they may be able to take out this Cygor right here. But yeah, if the Beastmen can finish off this Chill of Sontar, then they'll be in a very strong position as we approach the mid-game. Slow motion boulder smash. It's always fun to watch. Witch Elves here are still doing very well for themselves. Another nice volley of axes going into the Chill of Sontar. And now the Minotaurs, the chase is on. They're going after it hardcore. Cygor is going to be routed and possibly killed off right now by Mrlemarquis. And look at this. The Minotaurs actually dived into those Dread Spears. You gotta keep chasing this Chill of Sontar. And it looks like he's using throwing axes to do just that. I like that pick. Just whatever you do, kill off this Chill of Sontar. If it comes back, I think the Beastmen can very easily lose this battle. Rampage kicking in on top of the Centaurs or the throwing axes. And yeah, the Chill of Sontar is going to be regenerating, and if he comes back to the fight, the balance of power is going to go right back the other way, I think. Over here, Centaurs look like they're trying to counter skirmish the Ravagers of Rakoth. They're having a hard time there, though. It just seems like they are getting out-skirmished really hard by the Ravagers. And now the Centaurs are actually going to dive into combat on top of them. And we'll see what happens from there. Alright. Witch Elves have been dealt with. They are routing off the field at the moment. And yeah, this is a close fight. Balance of power going back to dead even. As I said, not dealing with this Chill of Sontar is a huge mistake as far as I'm concerned. And now the Minotaurs are great weapon. Or sorry, the Minotaurs are going to start going back towards the Chill of Sontar. They're not going to charge it though, so they're just going to get counter-charged. And now the throwing axes are going to start throwing away again. We'll see if they can do enough damage to rout this Chill of Sontar, but I have a feeling these Minotaurs are going to rout before the Chill of Sontar does. Especially if Mrlemarquis comes over here. You see the Scourge Runner Chariots also making their way over in this direction. It just looks like the Minotaurs are going to be coming up short here. However, these Minotaurs getting a decent engagement on top of the Scourge Runner Chariots, but Coldwood Knights are diving in from the flank. And it just looks like this battle is really starting to get away from the Beastmen now, although they did have a path to victory there for a moment. I think if they would have just continued to take out the Chill of Sontar, but now it's back to regenerating. They've lost one of the Minotaurs now, and I think it's just the Dark Elf game from here. Yeah, I mean, Centaurs or throwing axes are all very tattered. This is the last unit of Minotaurs, and it's down to about a quarter health almost. Morgor the Shadowgave is good, but he needs something to support him, and without Minotaurs, I just don't see the Beastmen being able to pull this off. And I also believe they lost their caster too, so we'll have to see. Man, Mrlemarquis such a boss. I think the Chill of Sontar has one more breath. I'd be curious to see when it gets used. But look at this, the Minotaurs picking up a good win here, routing the Scourge Runner Chariots and about to rout the Coldwood Knights by the looks of it. But will it be enough, chat? That's the question. A Soul Stealer coming down over here on top of the Ungor Herd. Really would have preferred to see the Soul Stealer over here on top of the Minotaurs and Morgor. These Ungor Herd are no threat to him. And I think a Soul Stealer right here on top of this monster hero blob probably would have ended the game. Call to Violence getting popped. Doom and Darkness going down, though. And we'll see if the Beastmen leadership can hold up to the Dark Elf onslaught. Looks like we do have those Minos coming back. Oh, they've regrouped, but they haven't come back to the fight. Yeah, just going to be too little too late. These Minotaurs need to do so much work on top of the Chill of Sontar, but the Chill of Sontar is turning away now. And it's between Morgor the Shadowgave and the Minotaurs. Oh man, it's taking a lot of damage. It's getting low on health, but oh, Morgor starting to waver. If Morgor routs, this whole thing is going to just fall apart, and I think it may even be too late already. Because even if they kill off the Chill of Sontar right now, still have a 3-model Scourge Runner Chariot and a full health Mrlemarquis, who's going to be more than capable of dealing with the rest of this Beastman army by herself. And that's going to be a GG. First game going to our Dark Elf player here, Mr. Mrlemarquis.